it's Jason here and welcome to a review. Now, if you watched the last video that I did, or a few videos back, you'll have seen that I actually had bought a Rubik 6, and I also said that because my 10-year anniversary of when I first posted my first Rubik's Cube video that I was solving, I'd actually demonstrate me solving an even more complicated Rubik's Cube, that is the Rubik 6. The reason being, obviously, it's got 3 more edge pieces, which means to say that it's now got a 36 combinatoric sort of multiplication factor that actually makes the thing solving a lot more difficult. And I actually wanted to show you that it is solvable. There are algorithms that go into it, but in some ways, the actual VCube 6, depending on your IQ, can actually be a bit easier to solve. And the reason being is that there's probably a fewer amount of algorithms that actually come into solving it. What you really have to do is just rely on natural intuition, and so that depending on how good your spatial awareness IQ is, actually you can pretty much handle it. And I mean, for me, I've always enjoyed the ability to manipulate objects in my mind, and so this is what makes this particularly fantastic and exciting to solve. And also, I have to say, yes, there are quite a number more algorithms to use, but once you get to a certain stage, the end stage, you would actually just solve it like your standard 3x3 Rubik's Cube. You can actually visualize the cube in such a way that actually you can picture it as a 3x3 Rubik's Cube, taking this part as the center, taking these parts as the corner pieces, and then thinking of these as being units for edge pieces. Now, I don't really want to waste your time, actually, so I'm just going to crack on and start solving, and hopefully you'll enjoy the video. And this is again to really celebrate the 10-year anniversary of when I first did a video on solving a Rubik's Cube. It was something that I actually started with, not because of vanity or I just wanted to boast about how smart I am, but because once it got in the air that I could solve a Rubik's Cube on the school playground, I'd just be constantly pestered by everyone. They'd be bringing their own Rubik's Cubes in, actually. I did at one point bring my own Rubik's Cube in, just to show a few close friends, and then I got sick of being asked how to do it, so then I started bringing Rubik's Cubes because that excuse of not having a Rubik's Cube on me didn't work anymore, and I just thought, you know, fuck it, I'm just going to put a video on YouTube of me solving it. That's what I did, and everyone would watch it, and it got thousands and thousands of views. It was probably one of the first YouTube videos ever, and it went viral, and I just became famous for that, not least because I knew all the chemical elements of the periodic table, as you can see right up there. So obviously the first stage, by the way, I have to say, first stage obviously of a Rubik's Cube, before you can solve it, you've got to scramble it. Now, do not be mistaken, I would actually say that one of the hardest parts of actually doing this is actually scrambling it. It's this 6x6 Rubik's Cube is so advanced that when it comes to scrambling, it can actually take some time. To the point where actually I might just have an easier time of solving it than anything else. So as you see, I'm just going to scramble it. I'm just going to, you know, just keep sort of watching, because you really want to get to a point, and I'm going to tell you a tip for actually scrambling it. You want to make sure that by the time you think it's scrambled, that there are no, say for example, 3 consecutive colours that are aligned in a row. That would give you a good idea that it's scrambled enough. And you can just keep on going, cutting at right angles, do 180 anywhere here, there. And obviously, I mean, no one's going to really accuse me of memorising the moves, and to be honest, even if I had, that would still be pretty impressive, because actually, I mean, you're dealing with a Rubik's Cube here that has, I mean, what do you call it, billions of combinations by which, permutations by which it can actually be solved. So, you know, you're really dealing with something that's a very complicated puzzle, but it is obviously doable if you know how to go about it. As I say, much of the first stages, and as I'm doing it, obviously I'm solving it, yeah, I'm still trying to scramble it, and as I said, like, see here, you've got these 3 rows here, you need to split that because you want to make sure that it, you know, is scrambled. What I'd say though, actually, to be quite honest, is that I'll talk you through how I do it, what I'm doing, my thought processes a bit. It's been actually maybe a couple of months since I've solved this, so maybe before I made this video I should have actually thought about, say for example, just doing a video of how to solve it. Now here you see it's very much scrambled. I mean, if I've memorised how to reassemble this, then I should get like a Nobel Prize in physics. But what I'll do, right, how I go about solving it is pretty simple. I'll start off with this part, and the reason being is because it has the black V. I always locate the black V as a starting point, and I'd make a linear row to complete the black V. And so I'd first want to do that. So I'll do it by making 4x4 rows. Just gotta bear with me a sec so I make sure that I'm doing it right. So look here, now I've solved already for the first row. This is 4x1 black row in the center in the 4x4 or 16 piece centerpiece. Now next I want to actually solve for more black rows, but I'm going to take this out of the way. I'm going to keep this on this side, so when I'm manipulating and maneuvering around the cube, I'm not accidentally taking anything I've already solved out of place. So let's have a look. Okay, so I've made another line here, see another black line, and to insert it here, I need to move this around, and boom, there you go, you've got a chunk there already done. So now I'm going to make another black line, and really I'd say that if you're actually doing this, you really want to make sure that you really start off with doing an edge side, because I think they're actually the most easy to spot. Personally, I do, yeah, I think they're very easy to spot, unlike other things on a Rubik's Cube. I've actually almost lost track of where we am now, so I need to find a corner black piece out of this one. So bring this around and see there's another one anywhere. Sometimes you'd be surprised actually. Part of the hardest part is just actually trying to find where you know the pieces are. It's kind of weird because you'd think that'd be the last thing it's on. So already I've almost completed one of the black center pieces. Again, you're sort of visualizing this 4x4 piece as a single piece toward the end. So let's marry up the other parts. Bring that there and I have to make sure this. I would imagine by the end of this video, my arms are going to be very sore because, obviously going to be. I should really hold my hands up a bit so that you can actually see what's going on. Okay, so I'll reinsert that into there, and there we go. We've got one part of it already solved here on one side. Now, you need to bear in mind, and this is an important thing to remember if you ever solve a Rubik's Cube, you need to, at least for one where it doesn't actually have proper centerpieces, I mean, these are essentially virtual centerpieces in that they can just move around each other. You want to ensure that you remember which side goes opposite what colour. So black is opposite yellow, red is opposite orange, and green is opposite blue. Now, if you don't know how to remember that, we'll think of it this way. B is for black and yellow, Phi is for red and orange, and nature is for green and blue. I think that's a good way of trying to memorize that. So next, as the black side is solved, I need to then solve for the yellow side and this side for 4x4 completion. Now, already, it's already looking like part of it is actually just naturally in place. I mean, let me just... So there we go, I've already put one line of the yellow opposite the black piece here. That's great. Then let's have a look. So there we go, and I've got another line there. So let's make another one. Bring it there like that. Bring this corner piece down. I really want to make sure that, see, as I'm doing it, I forget that I'm on video, and so I forget that I need to be showing you as I'm doing it. Bring that down. So there's another piece here. Let's have a look here. Now, of course, I'm not saying I necessarily have a good voice, I don't, but I think silence, a bit of tuning about is better than nothing. So I will be singing a little bit. So here we go. Like as you can see, what I've done now, I've established a yellow face here and a black face there. Now all these edge pieces around the sides can be ignored for now. Now, the next stage is, and this is another part that's important about solving the Rubik's Cube, it's about having a bearing on the orientation and clockwise motion of the colours. So for example, this would be black, this has to be black, red, green, right? So you now need to put a red part here, because that would ensure that it's an orientation clockwise from your perspective. That's going to be black, red, and then green on this side, okay? So already, I'm having a bit of luck with this Rubik's Cube because actually some parts of it are just already naturally done, ready for me. Like see, already one of the red parts is here. Just make sure you can see this, so maybe if I lean back a bit, it might make it easier. Bring this hole here, and oh shit. Oh. Right, you know, this sometimes gets on my nerves, you know. What I'll do is I'll bring it there like that, then I'll bring this one back up here, then bring it down, then spin it around and bring that up again like that, yeah, so you see what I'm doing. Then what do I want to do? I want to bring this back down here, and bring this up again, and then bring this down like that, then bring that down like that. So as you can see, the red's almost done. I just need to get one more row to insert. Let's have a look if we can do this. Okay, there we go. So we got a red. Now, clearly I put it on the right side because you've got black, red, and then I need to get green here. So let's see how we're going to do that. So as part of the green there, bring this up like that, and I'll bring it round, and then bring it down. So that brings the red back in place. Then you bring this up, and then Jesus Christ, what am I doing? Bring it back down again. How am I going to do this? So if I bring this green up here like that, then I bring this red down like that, and then I bring this here. Oh shit, I'm making this wrong. Bring this green up, right? Ah, yeah, there we go, that's how you do it. Okay, so there we go, that's coming out nicely. Bring this down. Oh my god, I'm having a bit of a brain fart. Bring this down, bring this up like that, and check that one out. Bring that, bring it down. And what you do is, bring it down like that, and bring it around, bring it back up, and spin it, and then come back down again. So again, we have red and green still on here. This is actually a lot harder to explain than I might have anticipated, but you know, I'll do my best. Okay, so then. Okay, then, oh shit, what am I doing? Okay, there we go, it's good. Okay, that's good, actually, I'm doing alright. Okay, then what I need to do is bring this green one down. Then bring this here, bring this down, bring this over, bring this up, bring it down like that. Okay, then I need to reinsert this here, so. Oh shit. I think I've done that completely wrong. Okay, what I need to do, I need to kick out by doing that, and sometimes when you're doing the Rubik's Cube, you think, like, what's going on? So here we go. We've got black on this side, green on this side, and red on this side. And of course, whilst I've done all that, I've maintained the yellow on this side. And that's actually what's very important, is that you maintain the yellow. Now next, I have these two sides to do. Now, as I said, this is going to have to be blue because it'll be opposite green, and this side will have to be orange because it'll be opposite red. And the way to do this actually is pretty interesting, so let's see if I can do it. Bring this down, bring this up, yeah, like that. Okay, that's blue and green. Make sure I get it right, it's meant to be blue, and bring this over, and bring that back down again, yeah. This is looking pretty beautiful, so let's bring this over. Bring this down, bring these two down, oh shit, Okay, I think that's all right. So it's blue, blue, and I need to get blue that side. So let's see if I take that piece there. Bring this down, bring this down. Bring it back up again, bring it up. Okay, so far so good. And let's have a little look here. Get another piece of blue, and let's say bring this blue down. Bring that blue down again. Bring it back up, and then bring this piece up there, right there. So this is almost done now on this side anyway. So I'll show you in a sec. What am I trying to do? Yeah, bring this blue down, bring it over, bring this blue down again, and yeah, bring it. Oh shit, not the water. Bring it up and over. Bring it. Okay, yeah, oh, yeah, it's still working. Okay, bring it down, bring it up, bring it down again, bring it over, bring it up, and then bring it around, and then in. Okay, that's good, that's good. Bring it down, and bring it over, and bring it down, and bring it over again, bring it up, and bring it over, and bring it over, and then one more piece left to fill, and bring that down, and bring it over, and bring that down over again, and bring it over, and bring this piece over here, and boom, and like. Oh gosh, my arm, I must say, I don't know if I can hide this, but my arms are really sore. But look, see, I've just managed to replace them. You may be watching this and thinking, I mean, what the hell is he even doing? And somehow it's all just working out. I hope you can see me still. So the next stage actually is to try and pair off these edge pieces opposite each other. I can do that, don't worry. I might have to speed this video up a bit so that actually you're not going to get so frustrated. Now, I'll just zoom. Let me just do the finger set. Right, so you can see better. So I'm going to zoom out a bit, yeah. I'm going to just so I can relax my arms. So now now I always start with the blacks because the blacks are pretty noticeable. You can actually spot them very easily. And to do this, you actually need to get them opposite each other so that you can join them up. So say that, and then bring this around the side and bring it up, and then I'm just going to sort of focus. Maybe I'll explain it a little less because remember this video is primarily about me solving the cube. I don't necessarily have to be trying to teach you. I was trying to do a tutorial. I make it a lot more easy to sort of follow than this because I can only imagine just what you're thinking as you're watching this and just go, what the bloody hell? Yeah, it's red. So let's try some black and green. Black and green. So you have black and green. Oh, yeah. That's black and green. Bring back down like that. Do black and orange. Some black and orange somewhere. There is a rainbow. Black and orange. Where do you find black and orange? Oh, Mr. Beast here. La 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 la. Where's black and orange? Brain freeze. It's black and orange. The bloody there it is. Okay, but where's the other one? As I said, there it is. As I said, one of the hardest parts of doing this is just, especially when you get more and more colours, it just becomes tricky to actually keep track of them all. So bring this one down here like that, and bring this here, so let's have a look, get black and orange now together. Blue and black, let's do blue and black, get blue and black together. See if we can find any blue and black pieces. Blue, black, blue, black, blue, black, blue, black, blah, 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 blue, blue, black, blue, blue, blah, blah, black. Interesting. I can't even find the other blue. Can't even find the other blue black piece. It's a bit annoying. Oh, well, there's one there. As I said, I mean, part of it's pretty hard to spot, so I'm just trying to look out for blue black pieces. Oh, hang on, I found it now. Bring this down there, bring it over, they can be joined together. Bring this around. Bring it up. Okay, so that's blue black. What about black red? Black red. Now put the black red together. Well, there's black red there, so I need to get black red somewhere else. I feel like I've already done black red. I hope I haven't actually accidentally knocked one out of orientation. But there we go, there's a black red. But where's the old bloody black red? I mean, I'm gonna find this so difficult. Where's the other black red? Yeah, as I said, this is just a very annoying thing, like when you can't spot them, because then you get to this point where you feel like nothing is going on. Let me do black yellow. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so bring that out of the way, bring that out of the way, bring this back up. Put that there, so I bring the black yellow, put a bit of black yellow, but where's the black red? Oh, why can't I? See, I've just done a black yellow piece, but now I want to fill in black red, but oh, there it is. Aha. Maybe get that out of the way. And do like that. Bring that down. Spin this around. Bring here. Bring up. Bring boom. Okay, now let's see what other colours we're going to do. Maybe a black orange? Or no, let's try an orange yellow. An orange yellow. I mean, yellows are also quite easy pieces to spot, so never be afraid of doing yellow and orange. Let's have a little look where the yellow and orange is there. Yep. So there's yellow and orange. Now I bring it down. Before I can do anything, make sure I shift this out of the way. So. Oh, bloody hell, I feel like I'm getting to a point now where I can't actually do this. So, at some point, you do actually reach a point where you can't do anymore, and then there's a bit of an algorithm that comes into it. So, let me see if I can do that. So, let's say, for example, I had the blue-black piece here. Blue-black piece. Okay, let me try that then. So, aha, I got there's a blue black, I find the blue black part. Blue black, where's the blue black here? Can't even see, oh, there we go. Found it. Okay, so bring this like that and bring this over. So obviously you can't really see it from my perspective, so you don't necessarily know what I'm doing. Blue black, blue black, blue black, blue black. Where's the black then? Let me just pause this. Just had to pause that then because I actually made a bit of a mess up, but I managed to correct it. So once you've corrected that and you've actually proceeded to solve for all the edge pieces, then you're actually able to move on to some of the last stages. And it's really about this point that you could actually, if you're lucky, solve it just as a 3x3. There are occasions where you can get some parity errors, and in that case you'll need a long list of these algorithms. See, blah, 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 blah. But if you don't need that, then fair enough, you can just proceed. So let's, for example, as I say, I always like to start with the black because it's the most noticeable. So I'm going to complete the black cross, so let me just do that a sec. So what have I done? Oh, there we go. So there's the black cross completed, and as I see how you visualise this, these are the edge pieces, that's the centre, and then these are the corner ones. So next you want to make sure that they're all aligned with their side pieces, so let's just do that. Oh shit! I've noticed that this Rubik's Cube has a tendency to want to come apart lately. Okay, fixed it. Oh, false alarm. I thought I was about to break apart. Okay, sometimes you can be a bit too quick on these. So there we go. There's the black side pieces and all of them match up. So next we need to shift them together. Which you can still see. There we go, so there's a whole black side now complete. In fact, this is about the only point where you actually get an entire side, a 6x6, 36 pieces on a side to actually be completed. So next what we want to do is actually insert these edge pieces into their corresponding slots. So let's see, we put that there, bring that over. So that's one of them. Let's bring this. I might need to tighten some of these screws because this is actually a bit loose. I don't know why. I haven't really been lubricating it, you know. Okay, so as you see, now I've solved for all these sides here. So that side's done, and then these sides, and we still last row is done. So let's see if we can do this. So the top side is almost done. Now I just need to complete the corner pieces. So let me just see. Let's start off with okay, so there's the top side of that done. This is actually going pretty smoothly, so okay, so that's that. Ooh. Don't break on me. Okay, so let's have a look here. So we've now got ourselves a bit of a power here, but I can fix that using this bit of magic. So it's almost done. So I've just applied the correct algorithm to actually fix that parity error. So now these sides are unsolved. And so what you want to do now is solve this as a 3x3. You want to ensure that you have this complete side facing to your right. And then this is going to rotate them clockwise. So this is going to need two algorithms of the last algorithm of a 3x3. So let me see if I can do that for you. Oh shit. Okay, pause that a sec because I fucked up. Okay, I've just had to correct it for like the third time already. Now, we've got ourselves here at the last stage before we actually manage to complete it. We just need to now do just one more algorithm. As I say, we've got a complete side here on this side that needs to face to your right. And then this is going to be, these sides are going to be rotated clockwise, so this should complete the cube. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ta-da! Oh god, I thought I was going to fail. Now look, as you can see, the Rubik's Cube's completed. So we have the black side, the yellow side, the red side, the orange side, the green side, and the blue side. So there you go. That's the 10-year anniversary. Finally, we got there. It only took 10 years to get to Jason solves Rubik's VCube 6. Maybe next time, if I have the patience, I'll do a VCube 9 because as I don't know if I've told you, but I've actually got one. So thank you very much for watching.